Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If transmigrated into One Piece and became a Marine. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 81, The Clash of Two Supreme Kings. The Clash of Conquerors Haki, he too has it just like our chief? A disbelief expression surfaced on the faces of red-haired pirates. When did the weakest of the four blues produce such an expert? Their Haushiko Haki was still locked in battle. It knocked everyone within a certain range aside from the strong-willed ones. Only the strongest fighters in Shanks's crew withstood the clash. Which of the two possessed the superior willpower? The one with the unwavering conviction will win. But in Blaze and Shanks's case, both of them are strong, so their clash ended with neither winning over the other. Shanks stared directly at Blaze's eyes. He sensed the intent behind them, a pure eagerness to fight. He was surprised to find such an interesting person in East Blue. "You are strong," Shanks casually commented. "Your haki is stronger than mine." Blaze didn't accept the praise. He could tell Shanks is stronger than him when it comes to haki and sword mastery. But in terms of physical strength, he's above. Shanks's strength should be at the level of Admiral while Blaze is slightly weaker. The find only further intensified his spirit to fight Shanks. Only by fighting a stronger opponent, he can become stronger. "What's your name?" Shanks asked. He wondered why he hadn't heard of such a strong person before in Grand Line. "Blaze." "Why did you attack us?" "To fight, of course. It's pretty boring in East Blue. You came at the right time." "I was missing a sparring partner?" Blaze said. His statement is an open challenge. "True, I was also feeling the same." Shanks was also getting excited. It's also the reason why he came here, to train and push his haki to the next level. Though the opponent before him looked weak, his spirit is strong. Looking at Blaze, Shanks released a dangerous momentum. "But, are you strong enough to face me? Why don't we find it out?" Blaze smirked. As soon as he answered, Shanks's aura flared while his blade turned pitch black from his arms to the tip of the blade. Jumping from the ship, he slashed at Blaze. The sheer strength of his swing split the air, stirred the wind around him, propelling a vacuum blade towards Blaze. The attack had a certain beauty and rhythm to it. Unfazed by the attack, Blaze coated his arms with haki and punched the space before him. The raw strength coupled with haki quaked the surrounding, creating an air pressure that crashed towards Shanks' attack. Boom! As both the ranged attacks collided, a resounding thunderous sound echoed out through the area, followed by two quick flashes of blue lightning which signaled the clash of two haki users. Shanks' blade slashed through the air pressure released by Blaze's attack and stormed forward. Blaze lost in the direct confrontation. Blaze didn't back down as the blade of air came at him. Shrouding his hands with armament haki, he tried to block the attack by crossing his arms over his chest. Only when he came in contact with the blade, Blaze understood he miscalculated. The force contained in the strike is far greater than he anticipated. And, the result? Blood splattered. The wind blade pierced his haki coating and cut both his hands, causing a skin-deep wound. This level of injury is nothing but a scratch to Blaze. He used twice as much haki than Shanks in the attack, but he still lost. Though his haki attribute reached 35 foot, he was only able to bring out half of its power. His use of haki is too shallow as he lacks experience and practice. Looking at Shanks, Blaze clenched his fist and spoke, "You are good." That's how it should be, otherwise, it would be too boring. Just as Blaze and Shanks faced in mid-air, the red-haired pirates watched the confrontation from their ship that kept some distance from the battle. At the same time, Rosinante and Regis observed the battle from the distance while the other marine soldiers on board were knocked out by the earlier clash of Conquerors Haki. Suddenly, Blaze's wounds gave off white steam, and to everyone's astonishment, the cut inflicted by Shanks healed at a pace visible to the naked eye. In no time, his injuries healed completely while there wasn't even a scar left.
Our battle is just starting.
Saying this, Blaze dashed forward and punched both his hands repeatedly. His punches were so fast and strong that caused friction in the air and sparked flames. A barrage of flaming balls of air pressure the size of Blaze's fist rained upon Shanks.
At the same time, Blaze concentrated his strength on the right leg and lanced Rankyaku.
His leg beamed a razor-sharp projectile towards Shanks. Unlike regular Rankyaku, Blaze blended a huge amount of haki into the strike, making it more powerful. The air blade is as strong as Shanks's earlier attack. Blaze didn't stop after the series of attacks, as he accelerated towards Shanks for close combat. Undeterred by the barrage of Blaze's flashy attacks, Shanks simply muttered a single word, "interesting," and launched his own attack. Tightening the grip, his arms bulged a little while he casually swung his blade from left to right in a manner of half-circle. Shanks's blade compressed the wind around it in the form of a tornado that moved forward in full force.
The strike made contact with Blaze's barrage of punches and Rankyaku kick. Clash. As both the strikes are of equal force, they dissipated in midair.
In that short time frame, Blaze bridged the gap between him and Shanks. Hardening his leg with Tekai and coating it with armament haki, he delivered a devastating kick aimed right for Shanks's face.
Shanks tried to block the attack by raising his sword that's covered in haki. Bang!
But, the tremendous force behind the kick reeled him back, generating a shockwave that spread in all directions.
This is Blaze's strongest combination, Tekai plus haki.
He can make up for his lack of haki with the Tekai skill that he had been practicing for over a year now.
Even though he succeeded, he didn't rejoice.
He knew Shanks too wasn't giving his all like him.
Blaze refrains from using his devil fruit power so that he can enhance his haki.
Similar to him, Shanks was also holding back.
Chapter 82, Shanks's Strength.
An hour passed since both of them began to battle.
Loud booms were birthed from the various clashes between Blaze and Shanks, generating sparks of lightning everywhere around the area.
The sea below them trembled, blowing water, while the sky above rumbled with dark clouds and purple lightning. Even the resident of Fusha village 10 kilometers away from the battle location felt the change. The gray clouds and occasional shockwaves scared them a little.
What's happening? A resident wondered. Is it a storm?
It seems like Chief is having fun, Yasop commented, while others in the crew also noticed the spirited expression on Shanks's face. The opponent channels too much haki in his strike to match Shanks. It won't be long before he runs out of it.
Still, he's a pretty strong fellow considering his age. Ben Beckman spoke. But if Chief gets serious, the battle won't last long. Lucy Rue said.
Hearing it, Ben Beckman shook his head as he could tell Blaze is holding back. Just as the crew chatted among themselves, the fight between Blaze and Shanks intensified.
Boom! A fatal strike came at Blaze. Shanks' sword thrusts got more powerful after every stroke.
He seems to be testing his limits. Blaze tried to avoid taking a direct hit from the wind blade, but Shanks predicted his move as the strike found his way towards him. The attack struck his haki-coated body and gashed his body from right shoulder to left side of the stomach. The collision and resulting force slammed his body straight into the ocean.
It's true, Blaze is on verge of losing the battle.
Still, his face shone in the face of a worthy challenge.
Shanks's haki and sword mastery is on a different level, but that's what he wants.
His fighting techniques, haki, physical mastery, everything needs further practice. The fight with Shanks gave him the idea of how to achieve it. There are many things he learned in the battle. He needs to reflect on them and improve himself. He had only been fighting for over an hour, but he exerted 2/3 of his haki while Shanks' haki hadn't depleted much.
It's the difference between them. Splash!
Climbing out, Blaze stood on the water and wiped the blood from his lip.
The wound inflicted by the last attack is quite deep as the injury wasn't healing fast.
The other reason is, his body had been constantly renewing his injuries caused by Shanks throughout the battle.
There's a limit to his healing as it directly comes from his stamina.
As for Shanks, he was astonished by Blaze's tenacity and willpower. And, he found Blaze's physical body is similar to Kaido, full of power and strong life force.
Unfortunately, Blaze is too young and inexperienced.
If not for that, his battle would have been a tough one.
You are a good opponent but already exhausted yourself. Fighting anymore is meaningless. I will be in East Blue for a while, you can challenge me anytime you want. Shanks smiled, sheathing his sword back.
Blaze wasn't offended by Shanks's words.
It's indisputable fact that he's weak.
And it's also the reason why he sought Shanks, to enhance his combat powers. He knew the latter won't hurt him badly since he isn't the type of person who kills for a petty reason. Looking at Shanks, he nodded.
I will look for you the month later.
Shanks then boarded his ship and left the area. His ship sailed towards Fusha village.
Blaze knew their battle is not the end, it's just the beginning.
After fighting Shanks, he found many shortcomings in the way how he fights and utilizes his strength.
He needs to correct them before looking for Shanks.
Today, he fought Shanks to gauge the gap between them.
Shanks hadn't reached the level of Yonko, in fact, his abilities are just at the level of Admiral.
But, in terms of combat power, he's unequaled in the same level. Even if he meets a Yonko, he can escape unscathed, that's how powerful he is. As for his crew, they are just learning hockey. Only Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo, and Yasop looked formidable, whose hockey level reached an advanced stage. Few minutes after Shanks left, his marine ship came and picked him. On board, Regis spoke, red-haired Shanks is powerful as described in rumors.
Rosinante wondered what such a powerful person is doing in East Blue.
Blaze just lay in the deck of the ship lost in thought, basking in the sunlight.
Shanks's strength didn't surprise him as he isn't your ordinary man.
In his younger years, he sailed the sea along with Roger and one of the most powerful pirate crew in the world.
He's experienced and knew things that ordinary people don't.
His knowledge is vast as he had traveled the New World and met many strong people.
As for Blaze, he lacks exposure. If not for his punishment, he would have entered the New World by now. Blaze then checked his status panel. Name, Blaze Hunt. Occupation, Marine. Constitution, 51.1. Devil Fruit Potential, 44.9. Hockey, 35.5. Free Attribute Point, 6.8. The battle with Shanks increased his hockey by 0.5 points.
As for the natural energy buff, it already weakened.
If he trains hard every day, his hockey increases by 0.2 every week.
The higher his attributes, the harder it gets to increase them. If not for the system, he couldn't imagine how many years it would take him to reach the summit of the world. Forget about that, without the gift pack or system he may forever have been remained as a slave or perished by now.
Luck is important. Fortunately, he's lucky to be transmigrated with a gift pack.
The quickest way to improve his strength is through system rewards.
For that, he needs to complete the task issued by the system or by completing achievements. Right now, he only has a single task in his taskbar. Task: 1 Punch Man Workout.
Description: do 2,000 push-ups, 2,000 sit-ups, 2,000 squats, and a 30 km run daily for 750 days. Time: 750 days, 720/750. Reward: 5.0 Constitution plus 5.0 Devil Fruit Potential plus 3 free attribute points. Only 30 days left in the One Punch Man workout task. Once he completes it, his strength will have a drastic change and his Devil Fruit attribute will also cross the 50 bar limit. Furthermore, he has 6.8 free attribute points. If he combined it with the reward that he would get from the above task, it would be 9.8.
Blaze plans on allocating them to the hockey attribute.
It would be a huge boost to his strength once his hockey attribute crosses the 50 bar limit. Above everything, he needs perfect training and should learn how to utilize his strength smartly.
Chapter 83, Solar Energy. Shanks' ship. Boss, is that man strong? You look like having fun fighting against him. Lucky Roo asked. He's strong.
His strength is only a little short of me, but he's inexperienced as he's still young. In a few more years, he will definitely come to be a formidable opponent.
Shanks replied, recalling the fight. What about his identity? Ben Beckman spoke. Shanks waved his hand. It doesn't matter, as long as he isn't our enemy.
He then wondered in his heart.
A person with such strong conqueror hockey, it seems like the stay in East Blue won't be that boring.
It didn't take long for the red-haired pirate ship to reach the Fuchsia village. The official plot began.
Days passed by.
Occasionally, Blaze would visit the Fuchsia village to meet Makino, Luffy, and others when Shanks and his crew aren't around. It's not like he doesn't dare to visit the village when Shanks is around, it's just he doesn't want to have much interaction with the other party. Shanks's crew would leave the village now and then, as for where they go Blaze doesn't know nor care.
But if he's not wrong, they go out to train.
During these days, he didn't waste time by staying idle, he trained very hard from morning to night.
Especially his hockey.
After 30 days, he completed the last system task, One Punch Man workout, and obtained its reward, further increasing his strength. Greater than 5.0 Constitution, 5.0 Devil Fruit Potential, and 3 free attribute points were added to his status. As soon as his Devil Fruit Potential broke past the 50 bar limit, he sensed a major change. A feeling of overwhelming power coursed through his body as if a wave of his hand can destroy islands. Blaze even had a conception that he awakened his Devil Fruit.
It's just he didn't know whether the feeling is true or not.
He can only confirm it after testing. But, he didn't dare to experiment with his Devil Fruit power here as he's afraid of destroying the entire Dawn Island. But, a sudden change in his body drew others' attention. A little far away from him, Regis and Rosinante, who were training their observation hockey, suddenly sensed the change.
When they turned their head, they noticed Blaze's entire body glowing in a golden halo. His eyes turned pure golden while a sun-shaped mark took shape on his forehead.
Blaze was aware of the change, but everything happened out of his control.
Regis and Rosinante had puzzled looks on their faces. What's happening? Rosinante then openly commented. Impressive. He's glowing. Regis looked at Blaze and asked, Blaze-san, are you okay? Stay here. I will explain this later. Saying this, Blaze utilized his Sorrow technique and vanished from the spot. He then reappeared tens of kilometers away from Dawn Island.
His body returned to normal, but the sun-shaped mark on his forehead didn't show signs of fading away. It became permanent, so were his eyes that turned golden. Without minding the changes, Blaze raised his hand that flared in golden flame. Clenching the fist, he punched at the sea below. Unlike every other time, his fist didn't release a stream of fire but a blow of air. The next moment, an ethereal wave enveloped the area, similar to what one notices when the surrounding is too hot.
Boom!
It triggered a powerful explosion, releasing a torrent of golden flames that annihilated everything in its path. The resulting force blew a huge hole in the sea and the high temperature evaporated the water.
Powerful, Blaze commented.
He only used a part of his strength, still, the force of the strike exceeded his expectation. After experimenting for a few more minutes, Blaze understood a little bit about his power, but it's not the full extent of his abilities, it needs further experimenting. If he's not wrong, his Sunday through Sunday fruit ability had finally evolved from normal heat to solar energy, the true power of the sun. Using solar energy, he can perform various attacks, but it's entirely up to him to uncover its true potential.
For now, he can create solar heat, solar flames, and explosion. The good thing is, his explosions are not radioactive. He can harness the power of the sun, but there's a limit to it. Well, it's good as his attacks won't harm the innocents.
There are other aspects to his devil fruit, but he can only sense them vaguely.
He needs time to study them.
With his current strength, he should be as strong as the admirals. Well, his hockey is weak, but it won't be long before it also crosses the 50 bar limit.
Blaze checked his status panel. Name, Blaze Hunt. Occupation, Marine. Constitution, 56.3. Devil Fruit Potential, 50.4. Hockey, 36.2. Free Attribute Point, 9.8. Today was the first time after coming to this world that he felt truly free. It doesn't matter what kind of world one is in, power gives freedom. Another 10 days passed. Blaze once again challenged Shanks. Unlike last time, he fought the latter with the weapon. Fighting with a fist is his forte, but against weapon users, it's good to have a weapon. And, battling Shanks, he can improve his weapon skills along with his hockey. Both of them fought for an hour before Blaze lost once again. There's not much difference. The only change is his use of hockey, which is much refined than the last time. Even Shanks was astonished by his development. 10 months passed. Blaze would train hard and challenge Shanks with an interval of 20 to 30 days. It became a routine for both Shanks and Blaze. Without a doubt, they both enjoy the battle. At first, Shanks simply fought him out of boredom and curiosity, but as time passed, Blaze's strength made him serious. He had a premonition that it won't be long before he was forced to use his entire strength. It was a strange feeling that excited Shanks. After 10 months of hard training and battles with Shanks, Blaze's strength had a huge improvement. Even so, he's slightly weaker than the latter. Because Shanks' strength also improved during his stay at the Fusha village. Each fight with Shanks increased Blaze's attribute by 0.5. At the same time, his training isn't for naught, as it raised his hockey attribute by 0.4 every month. After 10 months, his hockey attribute rose to 45.3, a little short of crossing the 50 bar limit. But, in Blaze's eye, his improvement seemed slow since he expected his hockey to reach around 50 points. From the look of things, he can only advance them with the help of his free attribute points. If possible, he wants to save them since he began to feel their importance. Lately, all his attributes have stopped growing. He had to train for weeks just to improve them by 0.1 or 0.2. Chapter 84, System Upgrade and New Function. It won't be long before Shanks leaves the East Blue. Blaze wants to have one last battle with him before he loses his left arm. And, this time he's going to fight him after letting his hockey attribute cross the 50 bar limit. In these 10 months, he didn't reveal his devil fruit power to Shanks, as utilizing it will hinder his hockey training. He will use it after entering the new world. After thinking through, Blaze added 5 free attribute points to his hockey attribute, directly raising them to 50.3. Closing his eyes, he felt the change. It was addictive, the feeling of power. The major change came from his hockey reserve. They doubled. The next thing he noted is the quality of his spiritual energy. They were more refined and clear, which increased his hockey control. His entire presence changed as his hockey metamorphosed to a whole new level. For the first time, he felt close to his spiritual energy and had perfect control over it. The transformation evolved his armament, observation, and conqueror's hockey. Before he could check the changes, a notification rang in his mind. Alert, the host's strength reached the standard for the system upgrade. The upgrade is in progress, please wait. Blaze was surprised as he didn't expect his system to upgrade suddenly. Is it because all my attributes crossed the 50 bar limit? His support system didn't take a lot of time. After what seemed like 5 minutes, it was fully upgraded. A new interface surfaced in his mind. Name, Blaze Hunt. Occupation, Marine. Constitution, 57.1. Devil Fruit Potential, 51.2. Hockey, 50.3. Free Attribute Point, 4.8. Nothing changed in the status panel. His taskbar is empty as there are no tasks, while there are some changes in the Achievement tab. Usually, Blaze won't check the Achievement tab as most of the achievements mentioned are not something that he can complete now. But now, he noticed some adjustments as he clicked the Achievement tab. There are new achievements added with different rewarding options, while some old ones had some changes. What surprised him most is, there are even other rewards aside from attribute points. Blaze checked them one by one. The first few achievements are related to his occupation as a Marine. Some of them are: Achievement, become a Rear Admiral. Reward, plus 1.0 Constitution, plus 1.0 Devil Fruit Potential, plus 1.0 Free Attribute Point. Achievement, become a Vice Admiral. Reward, plus 2.0 Hockey, plus 2. 0 Free Attribute Point. Achievement, become an Admiral.
Reward, plus 3.0 Constitution plus 3.0 Devil Fruit Potential plus 3.0 Hockey plus 3.0 Free Attribute Point.
Achievement, become a Fleet Admiral.
Reward, plus 5.0 Free Attribute Point plus 1 Lucky Draw.
The rewards were a little different from what he noticed the last time. The major change is the lucky draw, and it's also what caught his attention.
There was a small note regarding the lucky draw from the system.
Lucky draw.
Using this function, the host can obtain anything that's not limited to the host's current world. Example, weapons, abilities of other worlds, life-saving tokens, a chance to traverse another world, and so on.
Wow! Blaze was on Cloudline reading the description. So I can travel to the other anime worlds?
Stifling his zeal, he looked at the other achievements to see if there are other lucky draws. Aside from the one he saw, there were 2 more.
Achievement.
Claim the title Strongest Man in the World. Reward, plus 5.0 Free Attribute Point plus 1 Lucky Draw.
Achievement, Dethrone the World Government.
Reward, plus 10.0 Free Attribute Point plus 1 Lucky Draw.
Seeing the achievements, Blaze knew he won't be able to obtain the lucky draw anytime soon.
Whether it's dethroning world government, becoming Fleet Admiral, or defeating Whitebeard, none of them are easy to accomplish. He wasn't too concerned about this, as he will eventually become stronger, so he looked at other achievements with untroubled expression. Defeating or capturing pirates above 300 million and below 1 billion bounties would yield him 0.5 to 1 free attribute points. At the same time, any pirate or pirate crew worth over 1 billion bounty gives him 2.0 free attribute points.
The rewards are different for defeating Yonko. Achievement, challenge and defeat Sakazuki, Akainu.
Reward, plus 3. 0 Devil Fruit Potential plus 2.0 free attribute point.
The rewards are the same for Kuzan and Borsalino.
Aside from them, there are rewards for defeating Garp and Sengoku.
There are also other achievements, but we will talk about them later. Blaze closed the achievement tab and sighed.
The attribute points were reduced in most cases, it's going to be hard to earn them from now on. Even so, with his current strength, it won't be a problem for him to complete some of them.
Next day.
Blaze is going to challenge Shanks today. He didn't know when the latter will lose his arm and leave East Blue, but it will happen within 1 month. Current year, 5th month of 1512. Blaze and Shanks met at the uninhabited island situated a few kilometers away from Dawn Island and battled for the last time. It was a fierce battle, as Blaze used everything aside from his devil fruit power.
Blaze's sudden increase in strength caught Shanks off guard.
It was also the first time that he was forced to use his entire strength. Shanks' strength is overwhelming and devastating, as a swing of his sword cleaved the entire island.
Blaze was compelled to use his attribute points, once again. He raised his Constitution attribute from 57.1 to 60.1 using 3 free attribute points.
Only then he was able to barely fight on par against Shanks.
Their battle lasted for an entire day and night, with neither winning over the other.
The entire island they fought on has been destroyed completely, nothing remained to prove their existence.
It's a small island, and thankfully it's uninhabited.
The next day, when Shanks came back to the Fuchsia village, he was in tatters with bruises and small cuts all over his body. His worn-out appearance drew everyone's attention. Especially the red hair pirate crew, they couldn't believe their eyes. Only they know how powerful their chief is. Ben Beckman squinted his eyes while others showed a concerned look.
"Boss, what happened?" Lucky Roo asked. If it was any other time, they would usually laugh, but now they couldn't.
Shanks, who was silent the entire time, suddenly laughed aloud. Seeing this, the others also laughed along with him.
"Boss, you really got us this time. We thought you were feeling low," Yasop commented. Chapter 85, Shanks departs.
Another 15 days passed. Blaze had already witnessed Luffy stabbing under his left eye, eating Gomu Gomu no Mi, and the appearance of the bandit Higuma.
Everything occurred as in the original series. He watched everything like a spectator. And the event that will trigger the One Piece story finally happened.
On this particular day, Higuma's gang returned and demanded alcohol in Makino's bar. Luffy tried to pick a fight with him, but he was kidnapped by Higuma instead.
However, Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates arrived before Higuma could do anything to Luffy.
After that, everything transpired as happened in the series. Red Hair Pirates and bandits confronted, but the bandits were single-handedly crushed by Ben Beckman.
Bandit Higuma managed to escape with Luffy by throwing a smoke bomb. Higuma took Luffy out to sea, but he was eaten alive by Lord of the Coast.
When the Sea King moved to eat Luffy, Shanks arrived in the nick of time and saved Luffy by scaring the beast with his conqueror's haki. Luffy was okay, but Shanks lost his arm. Blaze watched everything happen, but he still couldn't find an answer to why Shanks had to lose his arm, considering his strength.
One thing is clear, his actions weren't deliberate. It remained a mystery to Blaze.
After 2 days, the Red Hair Pirates were preparing to leave Fusha village for good. Blaze met Shanks after he lost his arm, and said only one thing.
"We will meet again in the New World."
In the Fusha village port, Luffy declared that he would form his own pirate crew stronger than Shanks and will find One Piece.
"No matter what, I will become the king of the pirates."
Hearing his declaration, no one laughed. All the Red Hair Pirates looked at Luffy in wonder.
Shanks stepped forward and presented his straw hat.
"Then, take care of this hat.
It's very important to me. Return it once you become a great pirate and surpassed us."
After that, the Red Hair Pirates set sail. Luffy, Makino, Whoop Slap, and other residents were present in the port to send them off while Blaze watched from distance. Shanks gave one last look at Luffy and turned his head while their ship sailed forward. A month passed since Shanks left the village.
The East Blue was as calm as always, but many things happened around the world.
1512 Reverie took place and a new system was introduced. Shichibukai, 7 Warlords of the Sea. The purpose of the 7 Warlords system is to balance the unstable power in the world and to deal with other great pirates. They will be a symbol of the government's strength. The world government stated they are in the process of recruiting the members and made a point that only exceptionally strong individuals will be offered the position. In return for their alliance with the world government, every member's bounty will be frozen. The new system came as a shock to the entire world, as this means pirates with ridiculous bounty can roam free once they get the position. Today, a new guest arrived at the Fusha village.
Monkey D. Garp, the hero of the Marines. Garp saw Blaze, who was drinking wine at Makino's bar.
In truth, he was stunned to see the latter here, and what shocked him most is Blaze's presence. With his observation haki, he saw a vibrant golden aura, and it's as strong as a scorching sun.
The fuck? It's not possible.
How the hell did his haki reach such a level in a short span of a year?
"Brat, what are you doing here?" Garp asked. "Enjoying my leisurely life." Blaze nonchalantly replied, unsurprised by his arrival.
Before Garp could inquire about his strength, Makino's startled voice came from behind the counter.
"Garp-san, when did you come?" "Just now, Makino." "Where's Luffy? Is he still going on about becoming a pirate? I have to knock some sense into him." Garp knuckled his fists. Makino laughed a little and said, "Luffy isn't talking about becoming a pirate anymore."
"Really?" Garp seems genuinely surprised. "Yes, because he wants to find One Piece and become a pirate king."
"What? That brat?" Hearing it, Garp's entire face muscles trembled in anger.
"Why are you concerned about a child, Garp-san? It's his dream, you should support him."
Blaze gulped a mouthful of wine and spoke. "I'm concerned because he's my grandson."
Garp roared.
"I won't let him become a pirate." "Luffy is your grandson."
Blaze showed a shocked expression, even though he knew it already.
"Makino, what happened?"
Garp asked, without bothering about Blaze. Makino then recounted the things that happened, the arrival of Red Hair Pirates, their interactions, and Shanks' sacrifice to save Luffy.
"Red Hair Shanks was here?"
Garp clenched his fist. He didn't expect them to stay at Fusha village for nearly a year and would influence Luffy.
"If I had known it beforehand?" He thought inside. "Is it fate? Garp then glanced at Blaze and asked, "Who taught you hockey? Don't tell me it's the red hair pirates?" "Not them. And it's my secret," Blaze replied cheekily. On the side, Makino was astonished to see their casual chat. She asked, "You two know each other?" "Yes, Sister Makino.
I am not a bounty hunter as you think, I am a Marine commander."
"It's just I am not as strong as Vice Admiral Garp," Blaze replied.
As for Garp, he just shook his head.
Only he knew how strong Blaze is.
"No wonder, it's why you didn't visit when Shanks and his crew were here," Makino mumbled.
"Yes." Blaze didn't say much while Garp had a thoughtful expression. No one knows what he was thinking.
At that moment, Luffy's voice came from the outside.
"Makino Nasan, I am here." But the next second, Luffy was surprised to see Garp inside the bar. He straightforwardly asked, "Grandpa, why did you come back?" Hearing the words, Blaze laughed aloud, unable to control his laughter.
Every other grandchild's first reaction will be, "When you did come, Grandpa," but Luff is the complete opposite. "Luffy, I came to see you after a long time."
"Is this how you greet your grandpa?"
Garp welcomed Luffy with a fist of love.
"Ah!" Luffy cried in pain while a little bump grew on his forehead. Chapter 86, Garp and his Grandsons. Next day.
Right now, Blaze, Garp, and Luffy were climbing the mountain behind the Fusha village.
It's none other than Mte Kalubo, where Curly Dayton and her gang of bandits live.
Garp dragged Luffy by his face through the mountain path while Luffy's rubbery body dangled in midair while he struggled to get out of Garp's grip.
"Grandpa, leave me. I will become the king of pirates." "Cut the Pirate King crap!" Garp yelled. Let me go."
Luffy struggled, but everything's in vain as he can't shake Garp.
Garp reprimanded. "On top of eating the devil fruit, you are talking nonsense."
"Luffy, both you and Ace have to become the strongest Marine soldiers."
"Ow ow ow, damn it. My body is made of rubber, but why is it so painful?" "Let me go, Grandpa."
"It's a mistake to leave you in the Fusha village."
"Of all things, you like pirates, what a fool. You even become friends with pirates like Shanks." "I want to become a great pirate, like Shanks." Garp didn't listen to Luffy's rambling. Blaze just followed them, both enjoying the scenery and funny conversation between Garp and Luffy.
Besides, he's going to meet Ace too. It didn't take long for them to reach the peak of the mountain where Curly Dayton's home is located.
Garp went and knocked on their door. Curly Dayton opened the door while cursing but stopped as soon as she spotted the figure outside, while bandits Dogra and Magra also came and were shocked to see Garp. The conversation went between them while Garp stated his purpose of visit and introduced Luffy and told them to take care of him. Of course, Dayton refused. But Garp's next words shut her. "Here's your choice. Do you want to spend all your life in prison or raise him? We will take him in." They all agreed in unison. As for Blaze, he looked at 10-year-old Ace and Luffy quarreling because of former spitting on him. It's fun to watch the two greatest One Piece characters bickering in their childhood life. Looking at Ace's cocky look and arrogant attitude, Blaze couldn't help but laugh. But his laughter successfully attracted Ace's attention. "What are you laughing at?" Ace glared. He hates when others laugh at him. "Nothing. It's funny to see a child trying to act like an adult." "Aren't you just a child?" Blaze replied. "What did you say?" Ace put a fighting stance and pointed the metal pipe at him, ready to pounce any moment. Blaze beat him up. "He spat on my face." Luffy cheered at him. "Interesting. You want to fight me, come." Blaze beckoned while his lips curved a little. Some distance away, Garp and the mountain bandits watched the dispute without interfering. Curly Dayton asked Garp, "Garp-san, who's that young man?" "He's a Marine." Ace was completely provoked and irritated just looking at Blaze's face. He didn't know why. He may look like a child, but he experienced things that most adults hadn't. Besides, he can even beat 6 feet tall people without breaking a sweat. Gripping his metal pipe,
Ace carefully treaded forward and suddenly lunged forward, channeling his strength to his legs. The next moment he appeared before Blaze and swung his metal pipe at the latter's head, jumping a little. Blaze effortlessly evaded his attack and caught Ace by his collar while he forcefully took the metal pipe from him and tossed it away. As for Ace, he struggled with all his might with punches and kicks, but it couldn't even tickle Blaze. "See, I told you. You're just a child." Saying this, he flicked Ace's forehead with his finger, imbuing a tiny amount of hockey. The flick sent him flying back. Ace's body crashed into the nearby tree before falling to the ground while a huge bump arose on the spot he struck. "Ah!" Ace cried, clutching his head. "It was just a flick, but why it's paining so much and my entire body aches." "What did he do?" "Grew up, then you can challenge me." "Luffy, do you want one?" Blaze asked. "No." Luffy ran away as soon as he heard his words. Unlike Ace, he experienced it countless times, even his rubber body couldn't lessen the pain. "Ha ha ha." Blaze laughed. "Don't know why, he seems to enjoy messing with these two little brats. He's a monster like Grandpa." Ace stood up, dusted his clothes, and quietly left the area. Night. Blaze rested outside before a fire pit while Garp spent time with his grandsons. After some time, Garp came to meet him. He knew the latter wants to ask about his hockey as they increased way too quickly. And, as he expected, Garp asked, "How did your hockey advance so quickly?" Blaze pondered with a serious expression and replied, "Talent, maybe." "You brat, stop messing around. Tell me." "I don't know. I learned hockey and trained harder, aside from that, I didn't do anything." Blaze answered. "Okay. Show me your full strength, don't hold back." Garp said and rose to his feet. "Let's go somewhere else." "Good." Blaze also stood up. He knew Garp is strong, but not the exact depth. Now, he got the opportunity to test it. Both of them walked deep into the forest, far away from Dayton's house. Picking a good spot, Blaze faced Garp. But the latter still seemed as carefree as he knows. Balling his fist, Blaze coated them with hockey. He didn't hold back, he punched at Garp with his complete strength. Boom! The sheer power of the attack destroyed everything in the surroundings and influenced the air itself, blasting a huge shockwave in the form of a fist. The air pressure that took the form of a fist assaulted Garp, who stood in his place. Finally, Garp made his move. Coating his arms with hockey, he threw a punch of his own. Clash! The two fists collided in midair, creating a booming sound that shook the entire Dawn Island. Dark clouds appeared over their location while lightning flashed around, the result of the clash between two hockey users. But Blaze was shocked when he noticed Garp's air fist destroying his attack and ravaged forward, towards him. He cursed, "Fuck!" Bracing for the attack, Blaze swiftly reeled his arm back and punched again that collided in time. Even so, he failed to stop Garp's overwhelming punch. It bulldozed its way forward and smashed his face, pulverizing his entire being into the ground. Blaze didn't get up from the ground but simply looked at the sky and wondered, is he taking revenge because I bullied his grandsons? Nothing has changed. He's the real monster. How strong is Garp really? Chapter 87, Purpose of Life. The shockwave and the resulting impact destroyed everything around them, nothing remained. Everything within a 1-kilometer radius was razed to the ground. Blaze's entire body ached. It took a moment for his cracked bones and ripped muscles to heal completely. If not for his formidable physique, he would have injured heavily. He's definitely trying to kill me. I should have used Tech Eye. Blaze thought and rose to his feet while dusting himself off. Unknown to him, Garp was shocked by the incredible strength Blaze had shown and the powerful physique he possesses. Incredible. His strength reached the threshold of admirals. Garp came to his conclusion only after taking Blaze's devil fruit ability into consideration. His strength rose too quickly, what should we do? Unlike other Marines, Blaze developed on his own without getting any help. In fact, he only got punished for being moral and standing on the side of innocence. So, Garp doesn't know whether Blaze still believes in Marines and has a sense of belonging.
Because stronger one's hockey, stronger their will and firmer their belief. I need to talk with Sengoku, Garp decided. Next day, Blaze and Garp left the mountain, leaving Luffy in the care of Curly Dayton. Garp is going to the headquarters while Blaze 2 plans on leaving Fusha village today and visit other islands of East Blue.
Still, Garp wanted him to come and check on Ace and Luffy when he has free time.
Blaze agreed.
After that, Blaze said goodbye to Makino and other villagers he acquainted with, before departing with his unit. Unknown to him, Garp, who reached the Marine headquarters, went to meet Sengoku. They had a serious discussion concerning Blaze.
Garp, are you telling the truth? Sengoku raised his eyebrows. Sengoku, do you think I would joke on matters such as this? Garp solemnly replied. But how?
I don't know, he didn't tell me. If we continue to punish him, there's a chance of him leaving the Marines.
You don't want to lose him, Garp said.
Sengoku knew Blaze's personality well. He may seem rebellious, but he's true to his heart and had a strong sense of justice. It's just he won't listen when it comes to certain things.
Considering his current strength, it can be overlooked. Looking at Garp, he said, I will talk to Kong-san.
Kong is still the fleet admiral, so Sengoku can't decide on this matter since Blaze was punished directly by him.
Garp nodded his head. Days passed.
Though Blaze's strength reached a certain level, it didn't stop him from training further.
He's currently trying to perfect the hockey emission under armament hockey.
He mastered the concept of projecting his hockey flow from his body without a medium, but he was unhappy with the result and want to further improve them. A good example is Old Man Magnus' display of his hockey. He was able to control the objects with his hockey without touching them, similar to telekinesis.
But it's too advanced for him.
Aside from this, Blaze is also training on the internal destruction concept, letting hockey flows inside a target and destroys it from the inside out. He's having fun practicing the advanced concept. In the meantime, Regis and Rosinante got proficient in the hockey concept.
They can use basic level observation and armament hockey.
Though everything's been going smooth, Blaze began to feel a sense of loss and boredom after a month.
It happened suddenly. A thought came to him. Why did he have to stay in the East Blue?
His dream is to become the strongest man in the world, but staying in East Blue won't lead him anywhere.
Only countless challenges and near-death battle experience would help him.
He respects some of the Marines and their sense of justice. If not for them, the world would have been completely ravaged by pirates and wars. It's what's stopping him from quitting the Marines.
Moreover, Sengoku helped him during his desperate time while Garp and other Marines treated him well.
He can betray their trust and just leave like that, but everything has a limit. It's also the reason why he revealed his strength, hoping the Marines would lift his punishment.
Blaze plans on waiting for some time and wants to see what the Marines would do.
If they hell-bent on keeping his punishment, then he will be forced to make a decision. As if hearing his thoughts, a new order came from the Marine headquarters a few days after Garp left. He was once again promoted to the rank of Marine Captain and appointed as the commander of the Logtown base.
In a sense, he's the highest-ranking officer in East Blue now.
It didn't affect Blaze in any way. After accepting his position, he returned to his old lifestyle.
Months passed by as Blaze roamed the East Blue. He almost visited every island inhabited by humans.
East Blue is vast, but only a few islands are occupied by humans whilst others are unsettled. He visited Shimasuki village where Zoro and Kuina reside, where he saw both of them training hard.
Zoro trained hard to beat Kuina while the latter trained to become the strongest woman so that she can inherit her father's dojo. He visited Kokoyashi village and saw Nami and Nojiko, who live with Belmir.
Blaze even went to the Usopp's hometown located in Gecko Islands. At first, Blaze just wandered aimlessly. He even stopped training as if he lost the drive, but as he traveled to more places and meet different people, he began to understand something. Especially the One Piece characters that he likes so much: Usopp, Nami, Zoro, Kuina, and some on other islands. When he saw their childhood, heard their dreams, and felt their determination, a spark formed in his heart. In this world, everyone has a story of their own, and it's incredible to see them put effort to achieve it.
How to say?
They had a sense of purpose. But Blaze, he had nothing. Sure, he dreams of becoming the strongest man in the world, but there's no purpose in it. The purpose of life is the innermost desire of what one wants to become, unlike dreams. The sudden finding struck his heart. No wonder, I have been feeling a sense of loss recently.
It's the reason. Blaze knew the reason.
Unlike the others, he was suddenly transmigrated into a whole new world and was forced to strive for something. The drive to escape from the clutches of pirates and to become stronger clouded the need to seek the purpose of his life.
Now, he realized it.
For the first time in his life, he experienced something that can't be taught by others. A new path opened when he believed that he reached the end.
Chapter 88, Shimatsuki Village. 6 months passed. Current timeline, 1513, first month.
Many things happened around the world in these short 6 months. Admiral Sengoku has been appointed as the new Fleet Admiral of the Marines, while the previous Fleet Admiral Kong has been promoted as world government's Commander-in-Chief. Aside from this, many Marine old-timers who were in service from Roger's era retired one by one. The young and capable people with strong justice took their place. A good example is Sakazuki, who was recently promoted to the rank of Admiral and was given the title Admiral Akainu. It was talk of the town among the Marine soldiers. There's also a rumor among the Marines that Vice Admiral Kuzan and Borsellino will soon be promoted to the ranks of admirals. Another major event is regarding the infamous Fisher Tiger who climbed Red Line and freed the world noble slaves. He was ambushed by Marine soldiers and lost his life due to blood loss. This news caused an uproar among the people and fishmen. All the fishmen grieved his death as he was considered as the hero.
Reading this news, Blaze sighed.
Fisher Tiger is a good soul, but his heart yearned for freedom and death as he lost the meaning of life after his experience as a slave.
In a way, death is the truest freedom to him. After that, Jinbe succeeded Tiger's position and became the captain of the Sun Pirates. Not long after, he accepted the world government's offer and became a warlord of the sea. When it comes to East Blue, none of these major news affected them in any way except for one, World Nobel and Celestial Dragon Gelmax's visit to the Goa Kingdom. It's been days since he visited and left the East Blue, but this topic was still talked about among people. But what none of them knew is, what happened in the Goa Kingdom before Gelmax's visit, the burning of the Grey Terminal. Since the Goa Kingdom is under world government, the Marines can't intervene in their actions without their permission even if they want to. He visited Luffy and Ace after the incident as he knew they were devastated by Sabo's death. He also met Sabo when he came with Garp 3 months back. Only he knew Sabo is alive. Today, Blaze received the good news that he always wanted to hear. He was called back to the headquarters and he doesn't have to stay in the East Blue anymore. He knew once Sengoku took charge as Fleet Admiral he will be called back. Sengoku didn't disappoint him. Finally, I can enter the new world. Right now, Blaze is in Shimatsuki Village, the hometown of Kuina and Zoro. He was here the past 5 days. Before leaving East Blue, he wants to bring Kuina with him and prevent her death. But he can't take her away before the last duel between Zoro and Kuina. It needs to happen. Kuina was a formidable child prodigy in swordsmanship, being the best student of the Ishin Dojo, despite her young age. She could overpower even adults in a sword fight. Even Zoro, who's considered a genius in the way of swordsmanship, can't defeat her. Hell, Kuina can defeat Zoro with a single sword attack. Because of Zoro's rivalry with her, she too trains harder so that she won't lose. Right now, Zoro and Kuina have fought nearly 2,000 times. Soon, Zoro will challenge her into fighting with real swords. Still, Kuina is someone who was always living with the knowledge that since she was a woman, it would only get harder as she got older for her to compete with men. She was afraid and weak in her heart because of it. Only after her battle with Zoro, she will regain her spirit. If Blaze is not wrong, it will happen tomorrow. Blaze's marine ship was docked on the shore near Shimatsuki Village. He got acquainted with Kuina and Zoro when he first visited them 6 months back. Both of them know that he's a marine captain. Many in the world have a bad opinion of Marines because of certain things and being a lapdog of the world government. So, both of them won't interact much with him.
But, his 6 days stay here increased the communication between them. All he did was, he showed them swordplay. He's not a swordsman, but he at least knows some simple sword techniques that he observed of Shanks.
Kuina was aloof and exudes an arrogant demeanor, but on the inside, she's soft.
For her age, she's really powerful, both physically and in terms of sword mastery. She's just 11 years old and looked the same as shown in the series.
As for Zoro, he's a tough nut and simpleton. Kuina, how many times has Zoro lost to you till today?
1999, if he loses another, it will be 2000. When she said it, there's a smile at the corner of her lips. Zoro, who was training his body a little away from them, replied immediately after hearing her words.
I will win the next fight.
You said the same thing before all our fight, but you still lose.
Kuina retorted. Come on, Kuina.
You have to praise Zoro for his strong heart. He has never beaten you, but he still says that he will win. You have to learn from him.
Kuina just turned her head. She thought of something and asked Blaze, Blaze-san, can women truly become powerful as you said?
Yes.
Can you tell me about the big mom that you mentioned before and how powerful she is? Kuina asked with interest. Blaze sighed hearing her question. Kuina asked this question more than 100 times and he answered her every time. It's just she didn't believe it and thinks he was just bluffing her. Blaze knew whatever he says won't reach her heart at the moment. Oh. It's Marine Captain Blaze again, how are you doing?
At that moment, a voice came over and a person decked in yukata approached him from distance.
He's none other Kuina's father, Kushiru.
Blaze bowed his head lightly in a way to greet and spoke, Sword Master Kushiru.
I am doing well, how about you? Kushiru nodded his head, I want to have some words in pirate with you, shall we walk and talk? Sure. Zoro, Kuina, stay here. Then, Blaze and Kushiru walked along the shoreline. Kushiru initiated the conversation, Mr. Blaze, can I ask why do you approach Kuina and your purpose of stay here? Chapter 89, Kuina. Blaze smiled at Kushiru's straightforward question, it didn't come as a surprise.
He knew his movements were constantly monitored after his arrival at the Shimatsuki village. He also sensed a powerful presence in the village.
It's not Kushiru, if Blaze isn't wrong it should be Shimatsuki Kozaburo, Kuina's grandfather.
Kuina is a determined girl with a strong heart. She's someone who was born for greatness, I can't bear to see her talent getting destroyed.
Blaze answered. Hearing Blaze's words, Kushiru's surprised for a moment and asked, Kuina's doing great, why do you think like that?
Mr. Kushiru, I don't know whether you realized it or not, but Kuina's going through a tough time as she already began to doubt herself. If no one guides her even now, she will end up in a worse state.
I don't understand? Kushiru looked at Blaze. He didn't doubt his words as his father informed him that Blaze isn't a simple person. Let me explain in simple words. I have observed Kuina for a few days and knew about the rivalry between her and Zoro.
But, we both know it won't be long before Zoro overwhelms her in terms of strength.
Kushiru interrupted. Kuina knew it too. She's a sensible girl. That's the problem.
The day she loses to Zoro is the day her heart dies.
A person's strength comes from one's spirit, not by their body.
But, you taught her saying that women can't defeat grown men, it was deeply engraved in her heart. So, if she ever gets defeated in the future, she would always think it's because she's a woman.
Eventually, she will lose her drive to train and get stronger. Blaze shook his head. Kushiru stopped in his tracks as if he was struck by lightning.
He mumbled to himself.
Am I the reason? Seeing his reaction, Blaze quickly spoke.
Please don't take my words to heart. You were raised in such a way that men are superior to women.
And, it's not too late. Kuina's heart needs training.
Only by traveling and seeing the vast world that she can break the shackles that bind her existence.
I don't know Kuina's going through such pain. Kuina said that her dream is to become the world's strongest swordsman and inherit the Ishin Dojo. It's not going to be easy.
I admire her passion. I want to accept her as a marine apprentice, but if she rejects my proposal I won't force her.
Blaze expressed his thoughts. I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. If Kuina agrees to leave with you, I won't stop her. Kushiro slightly bowed his head. The next day, the fateful event happened. In the training dojo, Zoro challenged Kuina for the 2000th time, but he still lost to Kuina in one move. You are still weak, Zoro. Later that night, a frustrated Zoro challenged Kuina to fight him with a real sword and said it will be their last fight. Kuina accepted his challenge. Blaze watched everything from a distance. Zoro used two swords while Kuina used a single sword, Wado Ikemanji. They fought, but Zoro once again lost while Kuina claimed her 2001st victory against him. After the duel was over, Kuina broke down in tears. She had concluded that Zoro would soon pass her in skill and strength. He had already caught up to her current skills. It further confirmed her belief that boys grow up to be stronger than girls. My father told me that a girl can never become the world's strongest, Kuina spoke, looking at the sky. Hearing her words, Zoro got angry. You can't say that after beating me, it's not fair. If I ever beat you in the future, it's because of my skills, not because I am a boy. Promise me, someday, one of us will be the world's strongest swordsman. We will compete to see who gets there. Wiping her tears away, Kuina accepted Zoro's challenge. Blaze smiled watching their interaction. Finally, the vow has been made. After the promise, Zoro left while Kuina sat alone thinking something, looking at the star-filled sky. But, the sudden voice startled her. It was a good fight. Blaze appeared before her. Seeing it's Blaze, Kuina relaxed. Blaze-san, you were watching the fight? Yes. Do you know why you have the feeling that Zoro's getting stronger while you remain the same? It's because I am a girl. No. It's because you already started thinking in your heart that you will eventually lose to Zoro. You can't hope to get stronger without putting any effort. Blaze told. But... Kuina once again cried. You don't have to say anything. Let me ask you, do you want to become the strongest swordsman? Yes, Kuina answered firmly. Then, you have to leave this place and enter Grand Line. Leave the village? Kuina hesitated. She can't bear to leave her parents and friends. Kuina, you are caught in the shadow of Zoro, it's not good for you to stay here. If you don't want to be defeated by Zoro, you have to make this choice. No one can force you on this. It's up to you to decide. Blaze's words struck Kuina's heart. It's what she's afraid of the most, losing to Zoro. What should I do? What I suggest you is, join the Marines under my command and travel the world. There, you can face countless swordsmen better than you. And, I already talked to your father. Whatever your decision is, he will respect it. If you feel confused, you can talk with him. Blaze explained. Kuina thought for a moment and said, I will talk to father. Good. I will be leaving tomorrow, so make the decision quicker. Blaze nodded his head. After that, Kuina left and walked towards the dojo. Blaze followed without altering her. If he's not wrong, she will return to place her sword where she will trip and die. But, it didn't happen. Kuina directly went to visit her father while Blaze waited outside. After 30 minutes, she came out with a determined decision while her eyes were firm. Carrying the Wado Ikemanji, she went to sleep. Unlike in the original, she didn't go anywhere, so nothing happened. Even so, Blaze watched her over her the entire night. In case, if something happens. The sun rose as the next day arrived. Nothing happened to Kuina, who woke up as usual. Meaning, she escaped the misfortune. After getting freshened up and packing some things, Kuina informed her parents about her decision. She planned to leave the village to get stronger. Before leaving the village, she met Zoro and gave him the Wado Ikemanji. Zoro, I will get the sword back after I defeat you as an adult. Zoro didn't understand what Kuina was saying. She didn't explain. After saying goodbye to her friends, she came to meet Blaze and told her decision. Seeing her all packed up, all set to go? Yes. Okay. let's go.
Blaze then brought her to the ship and informed Regis to set sail to Marine headquarters.
She's coming with us? Rosinante asked, noticing Kuina.
Yes.
Blaze-san, we are going back after nearly 2 years. I am excited.
Regis grinned.
Blaze too smiled. Chapter 90, Regis vs. Kuina. First half of Grand Line.
A standard marine ship sailed through the sea while the morning sunlight and clear blue brought a fresh atmosphere to the ship.
The new day started.
There are not many people on the ship, only 20-some marine soldiers including Blaze, Kuina, Rosinante, and Regis. Right now, Regis and Kuina stood face to face on the ship deck with their swords pointed at one another. Meanwhile, Rosinante, Blaze, and other marine soldiers spectated.
Kuina had a confident look on her face as this isn't her first time facing an adult.
She had crushed countless people like Regis before. In fact, she wanted to fight Blaze. A few minutes before, she went to ask Blaze to fight her or teach the sword skills, but the latter refused. Blaze's words were simple.
Find Regis.
If you can defeat him, I will teach you advanced sword skills.
That brings Kuina and Regis to the current situation. When Kuina went to look for Regis, he still hadn't gotten up.
Even now, Regis had sleepy look and yawned from time to time.
Kuina, can't we do this later?
I hadn't slept well last night due to the storm.
Regis pleaded. No.
I have to defeat you, only then Captain Blaze will teach me sword skills.
Kuina replied. Regis, play with her for a minute.
You can sleep later.
Don't use haki and rokushiki, use only your sword skills. Blaze stated while Regis nodded. Kuina, you can start.
As soon as Blaze uttered, Kuina lunged forward with her sword and slashed at Regis. Facing the slash, Regis simply avoided it by sidestepping to his left, and with the hilt of his sword, he hit Kuina's back with minimal force.
Thump! As Kuina was already rushing forward, the jab disrupted her pace.
She lost her footing and before she could react, her face was inches away from hitting the ground. Before her mind could react, her body responded thanks to her hard training. She skillfully rotated her body and with a thrust of her left hand, she sprang back to her feet.
Kuina perspired.
They only exchanged one blow but she was already forced to her limit. Holding the hilt of the sword with both her hands, Kuina once again rushed at Regis and slashed horizontally. Unlike last time, the force behind her attack doubled as he used both hands. An impressive way to increase the power of the strike. It's just it won't work against Regis, who's an experienced fighter and master swordsman. In a swift motion, Regis lifted his sword and slashed with the rotation of his wrist. The slash gathered the wind around his blade and created a pressurized air. Instead of the sharp side of the blade, Regis used the blunt side so that Kuina won't be hurt by the sharpness. In short, the slash only had the power, not sharpness. The violent gust of wind knocked the sword away from Kuina and struck her stomach. The force behind the attack threw her back as she crashed into the ship's side.
Kuina coughed violently as she struggled to breathe and it took a few seconds for her to calm down.
The wind slash completely crushed her. And that wind blade created from a sword completely awed her. It's the first time for her to witness something like that.
Kuina clutched her stomach in pain and rose to her feet.
She looked at Regis in surprise. She didn't expect Regis to be this powerful. She knew there may be a gap between her and skilled swordsmen, but not this much. She began to understand the meaning behind Blaze's words.
At that moment, Blaze spoke.
Kuina, learn to accept the truth before your eyes.
In this vast sea, you are just another being with a sword.
At your current strength, any random pirate with a sword can kill you in a single strike. He then looked at Regis. Regis, from today onwards you are responsible for her training. I want to see her defeat you in pure sword skills in a short time. Regis was blanked for a moment. Captain, are you asking me to teach her so that she can defeat me sooner?
Yes. Is there any problem? Blaze nonchalantly asked. Blaze's acceptance hurt Regis further.
He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Blaze-san, I am not talented but you can't embarrass me in front of a child.
I'm sorry, Regis, since your strength shows no sign of improvement, I thought Kuina will soon surpass you.
If you want to refute my claim, improve your strength.
Otherwise, you will definitely be overtaken by Kuina.
Hearing his words, Kuina smiled while a proud look surfaced on her face. On the other hand, Regis looked like a deflated balloon.
Blaze then called Rosinante and walked towards his cabin.
Since they are entering the Grand Line, he wants to discuss some things regarding Doflamingo. Doflamingo will come looking for him once he comes to know about Rosinante and his location. The only reason why he hadn't attacked him till now is because of constant pursuit by the Marines. Of course, even if he comes looking for Blaze, he can't do much and may get beaten instead.
As Blaze left with Rosinante, Kuina went to talk with Regis.
She wants to know more about the outside world and how strong the people are.
Regis didn't hold back in his information as he's considered her teacher.
He described the outline of the world, various powers, and the current pirate era.
East Blue is fairly a peaceful sea, so there's not much you may have seen.
But, in Grand Line, battle happens all the time while countless people lose their lives every minute. Since the number of pirates is overwhelming, the Marines are finding it hard to stop them. Regis reminisced his past while a sad look flashed past his eyes. Before I joined Blaze Captain, I was in a different unit. But, suddenly one day our unit was slaughtered as we encountered a strong pirate crew. Only a few survived and I escaped because my friend sacrificed his life to save me. I haven't told many people about this, so don't share it with others.
Kuina had a hard time accepting the cruel facts and she didn't know how to react, whether to comfort Regis or say something.
Moreover, she couldn't accept the fact that even someone as strong as Regis was beaten by a pirate.
Seeing her look, Regis laughed. Don't worry about it, Kuina. The current me is different from the past.
After coming under Blaze-san, I improved while my strength rose to a whole new level.
The current me can single-handedly defeat the entire pirate crew. It's my luck to be placed under the Blaze-san's unit. Only then it dawned on Kuina that she didn't know much about Blaze. She curiously asked, "How strong is Captain Blaze then?"
That wraps up this part of What If Transmigrated into One Piece and became a Marine.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.